Happy Tag Tuesday! So this Tuesday I am doing the Guilty Reader book tag. So stick around to find out if I'm a guilty reader. Well, hey friends, my name is Roger and welcome to my channel, Rogers Reads. So today I'm doing another book tag, and the name of the book tag is the Guilty Reader book tag. This is an original tag by Is That Chammy, and I will put a link to the original video below. So let's move on to the questions to find out what this tag is all about. So the first question, have you ever regifted a book that you've been given? Yes, I have. I admit I'm guilty. When I was in college, but it's not what you think. I was actually gifted a Leo Buscaglia book. I was really into Leo Buscaglia when I was in college. I read all of his books: Love, Living, Loving, and Learning, The Way of the Bull. But the book that I was gifted was Living, Loving, and Learning by Leo Buscaglia. And since I already had a copy, and it was a friend of mine's birthday, I gave her that book. And she also was a huge Leo fan, so the book was appreciated, at least from what I could gather. And I never told her that I regifted it. Next, have you ever said you've read a book when you haven't? Yes, probably in high school. There were some books that I found so boring that I never finished them. So yeah, Cliff Notes are your friend. Next question, have you ever borrowed a book and not returned it? You know, I don't believe so, though, well, this is kind of morbid, but I did borrow a book from a friend once, but before I could give it back, he died. I know, grim, right? But yeah, as a rule, I really don't borrow books from people. I either buy them or get them from the library. Though, you know, it's funny, people from my book club will often give me books to read without me asking for them. They're like, here, I think you really enjoy this book, or here, you have to read this. I thought of you, so I brought it along. And most of the time I do end up joining the book. Actually, I think that's how I discovered the Charlie Davidson series by Dorinda Jones. But when I do get these books, I always give them back. And I do lend out some of my books occasionally, sometimes when my book club comes by and comes over. Sometimes when I'm hosting book club, and they'll peruse my shelves and, can I borrow this? Sure, and I always get them back. So, but yeah, I've never swiped a book and not returned it. Have you ever read a series out of order? Yes, I have. That would be the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett. I actually started with Mort, which was number 4 in this series. Then I went on to read books 5 and 6. Then before I went back to the beginning, I read books 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, I read the beginning of that out of order. Next question. Have you ever spoiled a book for someone? You know, I really go out of my way to not do that. I'm usually extra careful in my reviews to not spoil any books because I hate it when people spoil books that I want to read. In my humble opinion, a good reviewer is someone who can review a book without spoiling it. So that's why I never understand when video reviews with spoiler in the title. Well, maybe I do understand it. I guess it's kind of nice to be able to talk about all aspects of the book with someone, or the viewers in this case. But yeah, usually when I do a book review, I don't specify whether it's spoiler or non-spoilery in the title, because as a rule, I don't include spoilers. Next up, have you ever dog-eared a book? I don't think that I ever have, though it's possible, I suppose. But maybe if I did, it was when I was a kid. But as a rule, I always use a bookmark or a utility bill or a birthday card or whatever is handy. So next up is, have you ever told someone you don't own a book when you do? No. Why would you tell someone that you don't own a book when you do? Or maybe somebody wanted to borrow a book and you said, oh no, I don't have that book. I suppose that could be the case. But no, I don't recall ever telling somebody that I don't own a book, when in fact I do. My bookshelf is, as it were, an open book. Next up, have you ever told someone you haven't read a book when you have? For that one, I'm going to have to say, Guilty as charged. Teachers from high school. Again, I didn't always end up reading my assigned books. I was kind of a picky reader back then, though I'm actually more of a flexible reader these days. So I would often tell teachers that, oh yeah, I read the book when I actually had just browsed the cliff notes of it. Next up. Have you ever skipped a chapter or a section of a book? Yes. More times than I can count. I often do that during boring scenes. I'll just come like skim a page to look for the interesting parts. Not often, mind you, but if it's a book that I'm really slogging through, I'll tend to do that. Also, if I'm reading a romance story and there is one sex scene after another, which sometimes occurs in this genre, I'll tend to gloss over them and just flip the pages past the sex scenes. I mean, even sex can get boring if there's too much of it. And I know that there's some romance writers out there that will put in a sex scene every 5-10 pages, and really, it's too much. So next up, have you ever badmouthed a book you actually liked? You know, I can't think of any instances where I've done this. So maybe, possibly, yeah, I think I did. And if so, it's probably when talking about 50 Shades of Grey. I actually remember I referred to it as trashy when talking, as trash when I was talking about it with someone. But to be fair, it is kind of trashy, but that doesn't mean that I didn't like it. But I typically don't go out of my way to talk shit about books that I liked. So that is it for the questions. So as this is somewhat of an older tag, I do believe I will just tag anyone who hasn't done this tag. So that is about it. If you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you click the like button below, and I will talk to you in the next video. Roger and out.